Hi, welcome back everyone. This is lesson number 13, CSS frameworks. So we've been doing a lot of JavaScript the last 12 lessons, and so we're going to take a quick little break here and go back to talking about CSS for a little bit. I hope you still remember CSS. CSS is the language that allows us to style our website. It allows us to add colors and sizes and fonts and just a lot of pretty stuff on our website. I wanted to talk about CSS frameworks because this is a slightly more advanced concept. And I think at this point you're at a good place to learn about it. And then you can use these frameworks for your final project. So specifically, we're going to be talking about something called Tailwind CSS, which is one of the many CSS frameworks out there. So let's dive in. So what is a CSS framework? So far we've been writing, if you recall, we write whenever we want to write some CSS, we have to like create a role, like a class name or ID name, and you have to like, type background color. You have to do a lot of typing, right? We have to like we have to essentially do a lot of typing to create our website. However, CSS frameworks allows us to make some of these things a lot faster. CSS frameworks have our pre-written sets of styles and components that you can use to design and lay out your website. So you can kind of think of it like this. If I were to build a house, for example, and I wanted to design my house completely from scratch, that would take a lot of work, right? I have to like go find the wood, cut the wood, and then do the measurements. But instead of doing that, these days when you build a house, instead of building things completely from scratch, there's already these common set of styles and components that you could choose from, like what kind of door you want. You don't have to create a door from scratch. There's like already kind of pre-built doors, right, that you can choose from. Pre-built windows, like pre-built even the paint colors. You don't have to go out and mix your own colors. There's already defined colors for you that you can choose to paint your wall or paint your paint whatever your ceiling or whatever you'd like, right? So you can kind of think of it like that. A CSS framework has some pre-written styles and components, like buttons. Like, so there's a lot of common things that all websites have. Buttons, right? Like a nav menu, a lot like alert messages. Like, those are all things that are pretty common amongst all different websites. So instead of you making these from scratch, CSS frameworks help you, they kind of build it for you already, and then you kind of use them. So you can think of it as like a toolkit. They have all these like things for you that you can just kind of grab and choose and use whatever you'd like. You don't have to build things completely from scratch. Some popular, there's a lot of CSS frameworks that have come and gone. Some of the popular ones right now, Bootstrap is one of the oldest frameworks out there. Tailwind is a really, really popular one. We're going to be talking more about this one in our lesson. And then thirdly, there's also something called Materialize, which is created by Google. But there's so many CSS frameworks. So let's look at some of them. I want to talk about Bootstrap first, just because Bootstrap has been around. I can't believe it. They were created in 2011. I can't believe it's been that long already. And usually when a framework comes up, they kind of disappear after a few years. But 2011, wow, they've been around for over a decade now. So it's like 13 years now. So good for them. And it's an open source project, and it still is very active. So anybody can use this project. Anybody can contribute. Anybody can use this completely for free. And Bootstrap in 2011 was really popular. It was so crazy. Everybody loved it because it made it so much easier, especially for responsive websites. And you have to remember, this is before Flexbox existed. So remember we talked about Flexbox. So before, like, Flexbox made things so much easier. You could put things next to each other horizontally. You can resize things really fast. But that didn't exist. So Bootstrap came along to really help with that, and that really saved a lot of people's time. So Bootstrap is really nice. Let me just show you their website real quick. What's Bootstrap's really known for is like they literally create like buttons and forms and nav bars and all these other user interface elements that you could easily just kind of put in your project. So like, let's just see, this is Bootstrap's website. Let's look at this. Like if I wanted to, they have, look at this component section. They have so many here, like these components that already exist. Like if I wanted to build an accordion, for example, instead of me writing all this CSS, like I can just simply kind of use what they already gave you here. Actually, let me give you a better example in here. So for example, let's say I want to create a button. With HTML, I can create a button just by, putting button tag, and then, I just create a button, right? But if I want to make this button look prettier, like I want to add, colors, and I want to add a background color, maybe like a hover effect, we would have to write a lot of CSS to override and change this, right? Instead of me doing all that from scratch, Bootstrap allows us to simply, this is all I did, just add class equals BTN space BTN primary. So 2 classes. We just added 2 classes on this button, and voila, we got a nice, we went from this plain old white button into this nice blue rounded corner, this really pretty blue button. Just that's all we have to do for Bootstrap. So going back to our docs here, Bootstrap again, if you wanted a green button, you just create a button tag, add class BTN success, and voila, you get a green button. If I wanted to add an alert, like an alert message, something like this, so these look nice, I just add alert primary or alert secondary for like a different color, and voila, I get a alert message. Back to the accordion, like instead of me writing like all this accordion is a very common element. Instead of me writing all this code for it, I just take this HTML right here, look at all these classes, accordion, accordion item, accordion header. If I just copy this in, voila, I'm gonna get an accordion. It makes it so much easier, right? Do you get the gist here? So Bootstrap was really famous for especially these components. They're very component. They have a lot of these built-in components for you. Even like, here's another example. Let's say I want to create a nav bar, a nav menu. That's very common in websites. Instead of me creating like a list of nav menu items like this, I do this and then just add some classes. These are Bootstrap classes, nav item, blah, blah, blah. And voila, I get a nice little nav menu. So easy, right? I just added some classes. I didn't write any CSS, by the way, okay? No extra CSS. Simply added these classes onto these HTML elements. And then even if I want to make it to the right, if I want my nav menu to go to the right, I just add this class name justify content n, for example. So all of this is documented in there. They have excellent documentation. You could actually read in it like nav. You could read the nav bar, and you could take a look at all the you can actually read all of this. But there's like they make it so like this looks like a nice nav bar here. So by simply adding their class names onto your HTML, you can get amazing, really, really nice looking websites. So Bootstrap, because of that, was so popular. You can see a lot of different examples of what people can make with Bootstrap. It's pretty nice. I'm just trying to see, like, I can easily create like a pricing page. Wow, this actually looks really nice, right? These are card components that you could just drop in. There's like, blog. You can even create like a nice blog with Bootstrap. Wow, that looks really nice, for example. So with Bootstrap, you can make a lot of good looking stuff really fast by combining these components. Okay, so that's Bootstrap. However, more recently, this is Tailwind is the new kid on the block. It was first released in 2017, and in the last few years, it's gained so much popularity, and I think it's just really hot right now. That's why in this class I want to focus a little bit more on Tailwind, just because it's kind of the new thing. So, and I think it's gonna be really popular for at least another good some number of years, I think. So in this class, I want to focus a little bit more on Tailwind. So for your final project, you're going to use Tailwind for your final project. If you want to explore Bootstrap on your own, you totally can. There's a lot of great examples and stuff. But in this class, I want to really focus on Tailwind because I think it's just a really good thing to learn right now at this 2024 right now. It's the concept, the idea is kind of similar. Tailwind also has a bunch of these class names that you can add on your website, on your HTML, and then you get some result. But it's a little bit different in that Tailwind doesn't give you like components. Like they don't give you like, okay, this is, a card or like a button. They give you a little more flexibility by providing something called utility classes, okay? Utility classes instead of components. Let me show you what that means. So the same idea, how do I create a button with Tailwind? So in Bootstrap, to create a button, I just add, button tag and then class, btn, and then the color, right? That's all I do. In Tailwind, a little different, and Tailwind a little bit different. Let's take a look. Okay, it's gonna look something like this. Button class equals BG blue 500, text white, px4, pay rounded. Let's take a look at that, and then boom, I get a a nice blue button here. All right. So what does that mean? Let's see. So with Tailwind, each of these classes do something specific. They do a little more specific thing. So BG Blue 500, for example, it gives the background color of this button to this kind of shade of blue. Okay, 500 is like a scale. I'll show you in a minute. It's like this blue color. And then text white makes the text color to white. PX4, PY2, what it does is it adds horizontal and vertical padding to the button. And then lastly, rounded adds rounded corners to the button. So as you can see in Tailwind, each class is doing something specific. So you have a little more control. You could, BG blue, text white, PX4, padding, rounded. Whereas in Bootstrap, it just kind of give you that button and that's it. You can't really customize. I mean, you can customize it, but it's not that obvious. It's just kind of, you just get a button and that's it. Whereas with Tailwind, we are able to do a little more specific stuff here. So let's take a look at some Tailwind classes. So let's take a look at the Tailwind documentation. All right, awesome. So let's look at their documentation. So they're all these frameworks, Bootstrap too, by the way, they have really good documentation on. They kind of, because somebody else created this framework, right? So they created this out of CSS. They have to kind of explain to developers how to use it. So with Tailwind as well, they're kind of explaining to us like how to use it. Okay, this is how you install it. These are all the different things that you can use. There's flexbox, there's spacing, there's sizing, there's typography. And let's just look at the colors, for example, like text color. So this is one of the things I love about Tailwind is they have these really beautiful colors that you can use. So instead of you trying to look for a hex color, they did a really good job of picking out really nice color. If I wanted to add a text color orange, for example, there's text orange 400, like that's that one. So I think back to my button example, we had a text white, that's white. Let's look at BG blue. Let's look at like a background color. Here we go, background color. Here's all these background colors. And then like, let's look at a background color. Where's the blue ones? Oh, here's the blue ones, like, oh, cyan, sky, ooh, blue. So BG blue 500, that's that blue color there. That's how we got that blue color. So a lot of really nice colors here. So with these, you kind of have to read these a little bit, but you can combine all these different utility classes to create something like this. So this is something we'll create in class on Tuesday in our live class. But so something like this I built with Tailwind. Let me just show you the what it looks like. Here we go. Here's the code for it. So this is it. 11 to 16 here. I didn't write any other CSS. There's no CSS file in here, just Tailwind, just like that. And just like that, take a look at this. This div is rounded. Okay, that's how I have this like rounded corner. It has a background color white, BG white. That's why it has a background color white. P8 is padding 8. So we got some padding here. And then I got some shadow here. Shadow is the shadow here. And just like that, I built a nice little kind of div, this body for this area here. And then let's take a look at the top about Tailwind CSS here. I use a text SM. Text SM is like a small text. I'm using font semi-bold for the boldness, uppercase, and then text blue 500 for that blue color. Tracking wide is interesting. Tracking wide gave me some spacing in between the text. So anyway, these are all of these. I hope you're getting kind of gist here. All of these classes are already built in Tailwind, and we're just kind of using it to make this pretty looking site. So it makes it just so much faster to make really nice websites. So we'll do more examples in class on Tuesday. So I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.